We are day 135, Friday, May 15th. Faith, the currency of heaven. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Hebrews 11:32-34. We often hear the declaration in the secular world, if you're not talking money, don't talk to me. This sentiment reflects a universal pursuit, the desire for financial increase. People actively seek opportunities, connections, and ventures that promise to grow their bank accounts. No one naturally gravitates towards activities that will deplete their resources. Everyone looks for ways to increase their buying power, access, and freedom. Money on earth serves as the ultimate exchange for value. It buys cars, houses, and the ability to live out one's dream. It grants access to everything tangible that the world offers. Do you realize that what money is to us here on earth, faith is to us as believers? Faith is the currency of heaven. It functions identically to money and is our purchasing power within the spiritual realm. It is the means by which we access everything God has made available to us. Just as every luxury item, every car, house, provision is physically available on earth, everything we need in the spiritual realm is available to us through the currency of faith. Consider the illustration of the marketplace. If you walk into the car lot with $1 million, no salesperson will deny you access to any vehicle. You possess the purchasing power required. In the same manner, when your faith is alive and active, there is nothing you cannot access or obtain within God's provision. The Bible testifies powerfully to this principle. Hebrew tells us that by faith, women receive their dead back to life, and by faith, people shut the mouths of lions. Do you need divine health? That is accessed by faith. Do you require healing? It is by faith. Do you desire to see the dead raised or miracles performed? All these supernatural realities are accessed through faith. Everything you are called to do on this earth, everything you need to take hold of what God has already deposited for you, is executed through the faith in the name of Jesus. This realization compels a critical self-assessment. If we apply the same intentionality and zeal we have for accumulating financial currency to cultivating our faith currency, our lives will be radically transformed. We must adopt the same filter for our spiritual input that we use for our financial dealings. If we decree, if you're not talking faith, don't talk to me, our spiritual trajectory changes immediately. We must make a conscious decision that anything which does not build up our faith is to be avoided. We must actively distance ourselves from conversations rooted in doubt and lack. The Apostle Paul warned Timothy to avoid worthless, foolish talk that only leads to more godlessness. 2 Timothy 2:16. Conversely, he urged the Philippians to focus on what is true, pure, lovely, and of good report. Philippians 4:8. We must be as intentional about protecting our faith as we are about protecting our finances. We refuse to engage in activities that cost us money. Similarly, we must refuse to engage in conversations, entertainment, or associations that cost us our faith or break it down. Stop listening to music that champions themes of death, loss, or negativity. Instead, immerse yourself in music, media, and content that actively builds your belief. Follow those who uplift and strengthen your spiritual standing, like the God Back guy. Spend time with people who reinforce your faith. Surround yourself with things that strengthen your conviction. Be strategic about putting yourself in positions to acquire more of this spiritual currency, because the more faith you possess, the greater your purchasing power in the kingdom, and the more you can obtain of what God has destined for you. Good morning, God Back kings and queens. Step out today rooted in the knowledge that God is for you, with you, sees you, and he loves you immensely. You are God backed. Man, this is definitely a great way to look at faith as a currency, as something that buys you anything and everything that you could possibly need. We need to understand that that currency goes so much further than the financial currency, the money, the dineros, right? That faith is the same faith that moved mountains. That faith is the same faith that healed a woman by touching the hem of Jesus's garments. That faith is the same faith that allowed Moses to part the seas. You know, that's the same faith. That's the same God that we serve that can do anything and everything. And if we just keep that in mind, our days, no matter how hard they may be, will be pretty much effortless because we understand the gravity of the relationship that we have with Christ.